Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtike. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalaka Chakshivaran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakarajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapti Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 21, Text 50. Swayambhuva Manu has come to meet Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni is welcoming Swayambhuva Manu. Nunam Chankramanam Deva Satam Samrakshanaya Samrakshanayate Vadhaya cha satam yastvam hare shaktir hi palini. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari. So Kardama Muni is saying this to Swayambhuva Manu. It appears from many Vedic literatures, especially histories like Srimad Bhagavatam and the other Puranas, that the pious kings of old used to tour their kingdoms in order to give protection to the pious citizens and to chastise or kill the impious. Sometimes they used to kill animals in the forest to practice the killing art, because without such practice, they would not be able to kill the undesirable elements. Kshatriyas are allowed to commit violence in that way because violence for a good purpose is a part of their duty. Here, two terms are clearly mentioned: Vadhaya, for the purpose of killing, and Asatam, those who are undesirable. The protecting energy of the king is supposed to be the energy of the Supreme Lord. So it's the duty of the Kshatriyas to protect the citizens and to punish the miscreants, to maintain the law and order. And that's how they are representing. The king is supposed to be the representative of the Lord. He should take care of the citizens just as a father takes care of everyone, as the Supreme Lord is taking care of everyone. So in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, the Lord says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. The Lord descends to give protection to the pious and to kill the demons. Therefore, the potency to give protection to the pious and kill the demons or undesirables is directly an energy from the Supreme Lord, And the king or the chief executive of the state is supposed to possess such energy. In this age, it is very difficult to find such a head of state who is expert in killing the undesirables. Modern heads of state sit very nicely in their palaces and try without reason to kill innocent persons. So, yeah, in Kali Yuga, we do not have the Kshatriyas, we do not have the Kshatriyas who are supposed to protect the citizens. But in Vedic times, there were these, the righteous kings were there. Yorikendra Agnindra.
I just have one question.
Yes.
So they used to kill, but then they didn't used to kill and eat the meat, right? Not for that purpose.
Kshatriyas, sometimes they would be. Yes, there would be some Kshatriyas who would eat the meat too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they are fulfilling a particular purpose in society for that reason. So, but then you see someone who's not a Kshatriya and who says, oh, well, Kshatriyas used to eat meat, so I'm going to eat meat. But then we have to see what are the activities the Kshatriyas were doing. They were really protecting the people, They would be there out fighting, killing the miscreants. Not that, okay, I'm just going to kill for the sake of eating meat and I'll just do whatever I want to do. So what we have a tendency is we will take some part of somebody who's doing because we want to do that, and we totally disregard what are the other things that they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yo Rikendva Agnindra Vayunam Yam Dharma Prachetasam Rupani Sthana Adhatse Tasmai Shuklaya Te Namaha. When necessary, you assume the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you who are none other than Lord Vishnu. Since the sage Kardama was a Brahmana and Swayambhuva was a Kshatriya, the sage was not supposed to offer obeisances to the king because socially his position was greater than the king's. But he offered his obeisances to Swayambhuva Manu because as Manu, king and emperor, he was the representative of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always worshipable regardless of whether one is a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, or a Shudra. As the representative of the Supreme Lord, the king deserved respectful obeisances from everyone. So he's representing the Supreme Lord because he's, as we just said, that it is his duty to take care of all the citizens, to make sure everyone is living peacefully and has all the necessities met. Okay. So, na yadaratam asthaya jaitram maniganarpitam vishpurja chanda kodando rathena trasayan aghan swasenya charana shunam vepayan mandalam buvaha vikarshan brahatim senam paryatasi amshuman iva tadeva setavaha sarve varna sharma nibandanaha bhagavad prachita rajan bhidyeran batadasyubhihi. If you did not mount your victorious jewel chariot, whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet cause the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashramas created by the Lord himself would be broken by the rogues and rascals. It is the duty of a responsible king to protect the social and spiritual orders in society. Social and spiritual orders, the Varna and Ashram. The spiritual orders are divided into 4 ashram: Brahmacharya, Grahast, Vanaprasth, and Sannyas. And the social orders, according to work and qualification, are made up of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. These social orders, according to the different grades of work and qualification, are described in Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we were hearing Chaturvarnya, Varnam, that Krishna says that I have created these 4 orders, spiritual orders and social orders. And this is not based on birth. It's not based on birth. It's based on the nature and the qualification. It's based on the guna and karma, the work and qualification. Just like if someone is born, a boy is born and his father is a high court judge. Prabhupada would give this example. So does it mean that he is the boy just because he's born in a family of the high court judge? Does he automatically become a high court judge? No. He can be referred to as the son of the high court judge, but he's not the high court judge. He has to take up the education. He has to take up the training. He has to be qualified, and then he can be called high court judge. And so that is how Krishna had originally divided the society, that one should be qualified in that particular position. So unfortunately, for a want of proper protection by responsible kings, the system of social and spiritual orders has now become a hereditary caste system. But this is not the actual system. Human society means that society which is making progress towards spiritual realization. So this is the goal, the human society. There is supposed to be cooperation among everyone, peaceful living among everyone, and everyone has one goal, that live peacefully here and at the same time cultivate the spiritual knowledge, self-realization. The most advanced human society was known as Arya. Arya refers to those who are advancing. So the question is, which society is advancing? Which society is advancing? And what does advancement mean actually? What does advancement mean? We may say advancement means advancing our, quality of life, advancement in technology, advancement in medical science, But here, what is being said, advancement does not mean creating material necessities unnecessarily and thus wasting human energy in aggravation over so-called material comforts. Real advancement is advancement toward spiritual realization, and the community which acted towards this end was known as the Aryan civilization. So the energy of the Aryans was the time and energy is utilized towards spiritual realization. Everything needs time and energy. So does it mean that they wouldn't take care of the body? No, take care of the body. Of course, we need the body so that we can advance in spiritual realization. But it is said unnecessarily we shouldn't. It's not unnecessarily. So the intelligent men, the Brahmanas, as exemplified by Kardama Muni, were engaged in advancing the spiritual cause. And Kshatriyas like Emperor Swayambhuva used to rule the country and ensure that all facilities for spiritual realization were nicely provided. It is the duty of the king to travel all over the country and see that everything is in order. Indian civilization, on the basis of the 4 varnas and ashramas, deteriorated because of her dependency on foreigners or those who did not follow the civilization of Varna Sharma. Thus, the Varna Sharma system has now been degraded into the caste system. So it's the duty of the king. And so that's the reason we say we do not have the proper Kshatriyas to rule And because we do not have the proper Kshatriyas to rule, maintain peace, then we do not even have the proper Vaishyas and proper Shudras. And why did the Kshatriyas say we are not going to give proper protection? Because the Brahmanas were not guiding the kings properly. So all this is the effects of Kali Yuga. It's all the effects of Kali Yuga.
So what is Aryan? Means it's the name of the community, or is it known because it's civilized in following? What is
Aryan means to progress, and people who are progressing are called Aryan.
The community was known as Aryan?
Yes. So the civilized people were known as Aryans. Civilized. And what does civilized mean? That civilized means that they were engaged in spiritual realization. Yeah. So that means civilized. That means Aryan.
So do you refer like now also, like people who are in the community? Is it known as Arya?
Not really, you know.
No, right?
Not really. Now, you know, well, in one sense we could, but don't say that because, Lord Caitanya didn't stress on this because this is all the Vedic times. So, you know, we really do not even have the qualification right now. And so what can we do? We just hear and chant. You know, we are trying to hear and chant to get some spiritual realization. And we encourage everyone to hear and chant. Yeah, we encourage everyone to hear and chant. Yeah. So the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams is confirmed herewith to be the Bhagavad Rachita, which means designed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also confirmed, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam. The Lord says that the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas is created by me. Anything created by the Lord cannot be closed or covered. The divisions of varnas and ashramas will continue to exist either in their original form or in degraded form. But because they are created by the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be extinguished. They are like the sun, a creation of God, and therefore will remain. Either covered by clouds or in a clear sky, the sun will continue to exist. Similarly, when the Varna Sharma system becomes degraded, it appears as a hereditary caste system. But in every society, there is an intelligent class of men, a martial class, a mercantile class, and a laborer class. So Prabhupada is explaining to us that the Varna Sharma system is created by the Lord. And so that's why it's eternal in this human society. It can't be extinguished. So it exists, although it's become deteriorated now into the caste system. But Prabhupada is saying that in every society, we see that there are some people who are more intelligent. There are some people who are have the management inclination, administrative, leadership, some who are more inclined for trading, banking, farming, you know, and some who are more inclined as laborers. So we do see that naturally we do have these propensities. So when they are regulated for cooperation among communities according to the Vedic principles, then there is peace and spiritual advancement. But when there is hatred and malpractice and mutual mistrust in the caste system, the whole system becomes degraded. And as stated herein, it creates a deplorable state. At the present moment, the entire world is in this deplorable condition because of giving rights to so many interests. This is due to the degradation of the 4 castes of Varnas and Ashramas. So yeah, we can see practically, we are living in this society and we can see that, you know, there is chaos. We see the current affairs of the world. We just just yet still in a kind of a pandemic situation, and then now we are in a war situation. And so we can see there is, there is chaos here in this material world. Adharmascha samedheta loluper vyankusher nibihi shayane tvai loko yam dasyugrasto vinangshayate. If you gave up all thought of the world situation, unrighteousness, which would flourish, for men would hanker only after money, which would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack, and the world would perish. Because the scientific division of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas is now being extinguished, the entire world is being governed by unwanted men who have no training in religion, politics, or social order, and it is in a very deplorable condition. We can see that. We can see that the leaders, they really need this training in religion, politics, and social order. And because they don't have this, then there is chaos in this current world situation. In the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, there are regular training principles for the different classes of men. Just as in the modern age, there is a necessity for engineers, medical practitioners, and electricians, and they're properly trained in different scientific institutions. Similarly, in former times, the higher social orders, namely the intelligent class, the brahmanas, the ruling class, the kshatriyas, and the mercantile class, the vaishyas, were properly trained. So we can see, we take up these different courses, the degrees. We go to the universities which are providing such specialized courses, and then we make careers in that course, medicine or technology, or there's so many different fields. It's even more and more specialized now. AI or robotics, so many more. So in Vedic times also, there was training given. Training was given to Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So Bhagavad Gita describes the duties of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. When there is no such training, one simply claims that because he is born in a Brahmana or Kshatriya family, he is therefore a Brahman or a Kshatriya, even though he performs the duties of a Shudra. Such undue claims to being a higher caste man makes the system of scientific social orders into a caste system, completely degrading the original system. So now, because it's become like based on birth, because my father is a Brahman, so I'm a Brahman, whether I'm qualified or no. And so that's why it's degraded. I'm a king because I'm born in the family of kings, whether I have those kingly capabilities or no. And so, and then misusing the position. And that's how the original scientific social orders got degraded. Thus, society is now in chaos, and there is neither peace nor prosperity. It is clearly stated herein that unless there is the vigilance of a strong king, impious, qualified men will claim a certain status in society, and that will make the social order perish. So for want of a good leader, then the society degrades. And that's the reason Krishna wanted to establish Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne, that Kurukshetra war happened, because there were too many kings, too many people who were occupying the positions of kings, of Kshatriyas, but they were not righteous. They were not fit to be kings. They were not taking care of the citizens in a manner that the citizens should be taken care of. And that's the reason the Kurukshetra war was there, and Yudhishthira was reinstated on the throne. So athapi prachetvam vira yad artham tvam eha gataha tadvayam nirvyalikena pratipadya mahe hrita. In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here. Whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. When a guest comes to a friend's house, it is understood that there is some special purpose. Kardama Muni could understand that such a great king as Swayambhuva, although traveling to inspect the condition of his kingdom, must have had some special purpose to come to his hermitage. Thus, he prepared himself to fulfill the king's desire. So he's first, the Kardama Muni is receiving Swayambhuva Manu with so much respect. He's glorifying him. You know, that's a very nice way to welcome someone. He's asking him to take a nice seat and then glorifying him, which is appropriate to his position. And then now he's asking, how can I help you? So formerly, it was customary that the sages used to go to the kings and the kings used to visit the sages in the hermitages. Each was glad to fulfill the other's purpose. This reciprocal relationship is called Bhakti Karya. There is a nice verse describing the relationship of mutual beneficial interest between the Brahmana and the Kshatriya. Kshatram Dvijatvam. Kshatram means the royal order and Dvijatvam means the Brahmanical order. The two were meant for mutual interest. So there, in the Vedic system, there was cooperation between the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. The royal order would give protection to the Brahmanas for the cultivation of spiritual advancement in society. And the Brahmanas would give their valuable instruction to the royal order on how the state and the citizens can gradually be elevated in spiritual perfection. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 21st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Conversation between Manu and Kardama. So the Brahmanas would give valuable instruction to the kings on how they should rule the kingdom, on how they should protect the citizens, on how so that the citizens could live peacefully and at the same time engage in spiritual realization. And in return, the king would maintain the Brahmanas because the Brahmanas don't work. They don't work. Yeah? So they are always involved in spiritual practices. And so they need to be maintained also. So the king would maintain them and the king would rule the kingdom on the instructions of the Brahmanas. They would rule by these instructions. They were called Rajarishis. That's the reason. So that they could take care of the citizens properly. Is that okay?
Yes.
Anyone wanted to add anything or share anything? Not really. Then we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.